Fiber Festival is a little hard to say. Fiber Festival. Fiber Festival. Fiber Festival. Hi there. We are going to talk all about Nash Yarn Fest today. I was so excited to be able to go. It's a brand new yarn festival. It was the first year that it was held in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'd love to take you along and show you some footage of what it was like when I was there. So if you are new here, my name is Ashley. I am designbysewandsew on Instagram, Ravelry, my website, and my email. It's all the same handle, and you can find all the information below. I like to post videos about fiber arts, so I talk about knitting, sewing, spinning, and yeah, just whatever crafty things I've been getting up to. If you are a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. I hope that you enjoy spending some time with me today as we talk about Nash Yarn Festival. Nash Yarn Festival was held about a week ago in Nashville, Tennessee, and my husband's family lives not too far from there. They're about an hour and a half out of Nashville, so we were able to plan a little family trip, and I was able to sneak in this little yarn festival. So it was a lot of fun, and I wanted to tell you all about it today. So like I said, this is a new festival. It was its first year. It was put on by Modern Daily Knitting. There were almost 100 vendors at the show. Most were from the United States, but then there were some from Canada and even some from the UK that traveled there. It was held at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and I was so impressed with how organized everything was. It was really well thought out. The planners did an amazing job. So it was in an indoor kind of hangar area. There was covered kind of like outdoor walking around areas, and then inside is where all of the vendors were set up. Something that I was really impressed with too was the weather was not the greatest. It was a stormy day. There was some wind and a lot of rain, but because it was fully covered, no one was really affected by the weather. One thing that was altered or changed was they were going to have some sheep in a covered area where you could go and see and pet the sheep. But the sheep were getting a little antsy and nervous in the storm, and so they decided to take them back to their farms. So that was one thing that was scheduled but didn't happen. But honestly, I was just happy to see that the organizers were able to kind of pivot and adjust, and it wasn't a huge deal, but everyone still enjoyed the show. Everyone stayed warm and dry and safe, and yeah, it was a great show. So there are about 90 vendor stalls inside, as well as coffee carts inside, and then just a little bit outside of the building there were some food trucks if you wanted to get a snack. I was really impressed with the layout. The aisles were very, very wide, so it never felt super crowded. Even though there was quite a few people there, you never felt like you were, like shoulder to shoulder, really crammed in there with people. There wasn't any like bottlenecking problems anywhere. It was really easy to kind of just like walk in and out of the different vendor stalls, and yeah, just wander around and not feel too like claustrophobic or crowded in by a whole bunch of people. I also really liked how they had planned to have this large lounge or rest area right in the middle, in the center of everything. So there were, I don't even know how many chairs set up, but hundreds of chairs set up so that people could sit, take a break, knit a little, eat a snack, and it was right in front of a stage where they had speakers, they had live bluegrass music. There was also a little fashion show where some models showed some knitwear in a new yarn base, and I'll show you footage of that later on. There are also raffle winners drawn every hour. So yeah, just the whole like kind of community feel of everything. You're bumping into people that you recognize, that you follow on social media or watch on YouTube. You're seeing these vendors that I personally have never been able to see their yarn in real life. So getting to see the colors and touch the yarn was super exciting. But then also just like meeting all these fun fiber friends was a highlight for me. So the event was held March 14th and 15th of 2025. That's a Friday and a Saturday, and there were different tickets that you could purchase. So there was a general admission for Saturday. There was an opening night party that you could purchase tickets for Friday evening that allowed you to kind of get like first looks, first sees at the vendors' products. And then there was an after party for Saturday evening. So I just purchased the general admission. I attended on Saturday. Doors were open at 10 a.m. So Becky from Hand Knit Letter and myself went together, and we got there at about 9:45, and the lineup really wasn't too long. You'll be able to see in the footage, wasn't too long of a lineup. It was fully covered, so we were in from the rain. It was a stormy day that day, but yeah, we were protected from the wind and the rain underneath all the coverage. So yeah, we waited for about 15 minutes, and then they started letting everyone in at 10 a.m. And then we walked around and saw all of the booths, squished some fuzzy yarn, and yeah, met a lot of people. It was really great. So I'll show you some footage right now of the event, and then afterwards I'll let you know what I purchased, as well as I'll tell you some regrets of things that I wished I had purchased. I'm getting in the mood by drinking out of my brand new Dolly Parton coffee mug. It says, "I beg your pardon" on it. And I felt like I needed a little Tennessee souvenir, and so this was it. Okay, so I'll show you what I purchased from Nash Yarn Fest. I'll be honest with you, I was very conservative. I mostly just wanted to like look around and see what there was and meet people. And honestly, the exchange rate of the Canadian dollar, purchasing things in USD it's really, really terrible right now. So it really made me kind of like second guess or think through what I was going to purchase. I also don't need a lot of yarn. So I went in kind of just thinking if there was something really, really special, I would buy it. But I am more interested in buying fibers for spinning because I already have a lot of yarn in my stash, but I don't have that much fiber. So that's what I was kind of on the lookout for. All right. So when we walked in, everyone was given a free tote. I'll show you it here. So just a cute little tote bag with their logo and the date and then sponsors on the back. And it was really handy to be able to carry all the goodies that we got. So I walked around and looked at all of the stalls first before deciding on what I wanted to purchase. I really liked the size of this show. It was small enough where you could do that. I was there from 10 to about 1:30. And yeah, I feel like in an hour and a half, I was able to walk through everything. Then I went and made my purchases and then sat down in the lounge area and knit for a little bit. So yeah, it never felt like too overwhelming or too rushed or anything like that. But on to my purchases. I really loved all of the farmy vendors, the ones that own farms, they own their sheep. I really like that kind of like from farm to knitting needles, sort of like close connection to the sheep that were working with their wool. So I really enjoyed Dresow Family Farm. It's located in Lonsdale. I think MN is Minnesota. That's what I'm gonna guess. But yeah, I talked to the owner. She was a lovely lady. She had beautiful yarns. Honestly, the softest cormo I've ever felt. It was just like a dream. So I knew that I wanted to purchase something from her. I was looking at the yarns. There was just some beautiful marled cormo that was half brown and half cream from two different sheep. And it was just lovely. But then I saw that she had some fleece. So this is what I got. It's just a beautiful pin drafted roving from a sheep named Sven. I'll put up a picture of him that they have on their website. So that's Sven there. And this is his gorgeous wool. And honestly, you have to be able to like feel how soft this is. It's just, oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I really like working with Cormo fibers and knitting Cormo yarn, so I'm excited to spin this up. I just got the one, and initially I was thinking maybe I'll make a hat or just like a small accessory, but they do have more of Sven's fiber on their website. So I have been considering maybe ordering one or two more to be able to make a garment, like a winter vest, something like that. So this was my bigger purchase. And then I only made one other purchase at the festival, and it was these stitch markers from Allstitch. I really liked the cute little flower shape to them. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but yeah, they're cute little flowers, and I like the blue color. These ones fit US 8 or 5 millimeter needles and down. I do a lot of knitting with like sport and fingering weight yarn, so this was the right size for me. But they had stitch markers all the way up to US 13 or 9 millimeter needles in really cute, like cheerful, bright colors. So those were the two things that I purchased at Nash Yarn Fest. But I'm going to show you some other things that I purchased while I was in the area and that I had waiting for me at my in-laws' house that I had ordered earlier. Also, I spent quite a bit of time with Becky from A Hand Knit Letter. We've chatted for quite a while now, but this was the first time meeting in person, so it was really nice to get to know her. And she gifted me a skein of yarn from her stash. So this is Newburgh Yarn Co. DK weight in the color Emerald Killer. She knit this beautiful Rhoda top or tank out of it, and she had a skein left over, so she gifted it to me, which was so sweet of her. I absolutely love this color of green, and yeah, I'm excited about what I might make with it. So thank you, Becky, for this beautiful gift. I'm really excited to work with it. A few months ago, I ordered some yarn from Zeezee Textiles. She had this winter collection. I can't remember the name of it, but it was all just like beautiful, kind of frosty, cool colors, just kind of invoking the feeling of like frozen cold winter, thawing into spring a little bit. So I had ordered that, and it was waiting for me when I got to our family's place. So first off, I got this beautiful fingering weight non-superwash merino. This one is called Winter Pool, and it is just like this kind of like gray blue with white bits in it. I'll open it up for you to see. And then I got this mohair to pair with it. Oh, actually, it's Surrey. So this is the baby Surrey lace. It's 75% baby Surrey and 25% silk. And this one is in the colorway Winter Gardens. So it still has that similar kind of like steely blue gray and cream, but then there's also bits of brown in it. So I'll open this up too. This will be my first time knitting with Surrey. I usually go with mohair, but people have been saying how soft Surrey is, so I wanted to try this out and see if I notice a difference. And my plan for these when I ordered them was, or is, to make a doppio sweater. So I made one over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, and I've been wanting to make another one. So I wanted to pair these two, and then I have a yarn from my stash. I think I'll probably use this one. Yeah, so I think I'll hold this kind of chocolate brown with the blue and then the Surrey alpaca. And I'm excited to see how it knits up. I've seen a few versions of doppios where they use really contrasting yarns, and the marling just looks awesome. So rather than go with two colors that are really similar, I wanted to go with these kind of different, but still within the same sort of family of color, like they all work together. So that's going to be my doppio. And then also from Rachel from Zeezee Textiles, I ordered this new base from her. It's called Falkland DK. It's 70% Falkland wool, 15% baby alpaca, and 15% silk. And this is in the color Topiary. I'm really, really excited about working with this. It's just like so plump and bouncy. Um, when you look at it, it doesn't look like a DK yarn. It's really like fat and round. But then when you kind of like stretch it out, you can see that it's full of a lot of like bounce and air. I'll open up this one for you too. Yeah, I really like this color of bluey green. I feel like I'd be able to wear it well. And I got 4 skeins of this. So I'm hoping to make either a cardigan or a sweater. But the stitch definition should be really nice with this yarn. So I'm looking at patterns that have some texture to them, like cables or just like knit and purl texture. So I'm still deciding on what I'm going to make with this. And then lastly, when I was in the States, I wanted to go to Joann's Fabrics because they are closing. And so a lot of them have like a discount percentages, like extra percentages off. So I went to a Joann's and I picked up some Patons Kroy sock yarn. It's my favorite sock yarn. It wears so well. It's really a workhorse yarn. I've knit my husband a ton of socks out of this yarn, and he hasn't worn a hole through any of them, and some of them are like 4 or 5 years old. So yeah, it's a really, really great yarn to try. I had never seen these colorways, so I just picked up this pretty blue. It's called Saltwater. And then I picked up this kind of like purpley one. It's called Celestial Colors. And on my flight home, I started working up a sock in the purple. So the color variation is really slight. Like it just lightly kind of changes color to more purple, more pink, and then more blue. And I just kind of had fun with this. I was winging it. I wanted something that would keep me interested. So every 10 rows, I just kind of changed the stitch pattern that I was doing. So I started with 1x1 rib, went to 2x2, then 3x1 broken rib. I did some kind of like basket stitching there, some cables. I realized that with this yarn, it doesn't show the texture super well. Just the marling kind of hides the texture a little bit, but I think that it'll still be cute when it's worn. So that's all that I got while I was traveling in Tennessee, but I wanted to talk a little bit about regrets, things that I wish that I had picked up when I was there. So there was just a few companies that really stood out to me and I've still been thinking about a lot after we left. One of them was Camelia Fiber Company. I've followed them on Instagram for a while. I've heard of other knitters using their yarns. I know Casey from Young Folk Knits has knit quite a bit with their yarns, and she said that they're extremely soft. So it was really cool to go in person and actually, touch the yarn and look at it. And she's not wrong. It was so incredibly soft, just beautiful bases. One base that really stood out to me was their flax base. It's a mix of like alpaca and linen and silk, and it was just like this beautiful summer base in gorgeous kind of like spring pastel colors. So that one is still kind of like stuck in the back of my mind, and it's something that I might like to order in the future. Another vendor that I really wish that I'd purchased from was Garthenor. It's a UK-based mill, like they mill their own yarn, and it was just this really cool booth with like very earthy, natural. It's all certified organic yarns. It was rustic, kind of like earthy feeling, but still soft, like next to skin yarns. And they just had a really neat looking bases in a lot of kind of like more natural colors, but I really liked their booth. And if I had known at the time if they were from Britain, I probably would have purchased it in person because shipping costs are just a little bit higher, but they are a yarn company that I'll keep my eyes on. And then there's a new yarn that was released at the festival. It's called Atlas. It's a collaboration between Modern Daily Knitting and Madeline Tosh. And they just had so many gorgeous, beautiful colors. They had a lot of solids and then some variegated ones. It was just this like really plump, beautiful, gorgeous yarn in vibrant, beautiful colors. So that's another one that I'm glad that I saw in person, and now I know if I want to purchase online, it's something that I like. So that's all I have to say about Nash Yarn Fest. I was a fan. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll be able to go again next year. Typically we visit our in-laws every year, and it usually falls in the spring. So hopefully next year I'll be able to plan around it and be able to attend. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And next video, I'll get you caught up on everything that I've been working on and making. I hope that you all have a wonderful day wherever you are. Hopefully you're seeing some signs of spring. When we were in Tennessee, it was the weather was all over the place, but there were some warm days and the trees were all starting to blossom, so that was nice to see. Now that I'm back on Vancouver Island, there are some cherry blossoms, but it has just been rainy, dreary, dark weather. So I'm looking forward to some sunny spring days. All right, I hope that you all take care, and I'll see you later.